Following the Treaty of Paris ending our Revolutionary War, the United States found itself in very trying post-war economic times. The paper money issued by the Continental Congress and the states had lost its value and would only be accepted in commerce at an extreme discount, if at all. This situation, combined with the shortage of coins and the abundance of counterfeit coppers, led 3 states and Vermont to issue their own copper coinages. New Jersey was among them. The Articles of Confederation recognized the states' rights to do so. The Constitution eventually took away the states' ability to produce coins and only allowed the federal government to issue coins. On May 23, 1786, Walter Mould, Thomas Goadsby, and Albion Cox submitted a proposal to the State General Assembly to obtain a contract to mint coins for the state of New Jersey. With the support of Revolutionary War officer and respected citizen Matthias Ogden, these 3 Englishmen were granted the contract on June 1, 1786. Entitled An Act for the Establishment of a Coinage of Copper in this State, the state authorized the minting of 3 million coppers, weighing 150 grains each, and to pass at the rate of 15 to the New Jersey shilling. A bond of £10,000 had to be provided before operations began, and 10% of the production was to be paid to the state quarterly for the privilege to mint coins. It's important to note that these coins were legislated to be accepted in payment of taxes, something the other states did not do. Matthias Ogden was instrumental in obtaining the state contract and for leasing the mills owned by Daniel Marsh in Rahway. He had the political clout to get things done. He was also surety for the bond that was needed and certainly anticipated financial success from the operation. Recent research has discovered that Walter Mould was involved in a counterfeit minting operation in England. He was discovered, convicted, and served 11 months in prison. Thomas Goadsby was a businessman, merchant, and speculator. Albion Cox had some knowledge of metallurgy and was employed as an assayer in England. Later, he was to be assayer at the U.S. Mint. Shortly after the act was approved, Goadsby and Cox petitioned the legislature to separate from Mould and mint their 2 million coppers apart from him. The reason for the split is not recorded, but some speculate that the partners discovered Mould's criminal history and didn't want to be associated with him. This petition was approved on November 17, 1786. Goadsby and Cox operated their mint in Rahway at the mills of Daniel Marsh, while Mould operated his mint in Morristown at the estate of John Cleves Sims, father-in-law of President William Henry Harrison. All of the key players in the coinage felt they would become wealthy operating a mint. It appears, however, that no one became wealthy in this venture. State records of lawsuits between these 4 men and others show that their business relationships were far less than amicable. Cox actually ended up in debtor's prison for a time. Besides Rahway, Elizabethtown, and Morristown, there are 2 other minting locations that should be mentioned. There was a John Bailey in New York City who gave testimony in court that he didn't strike New Jersey coppers after a certain date. Without any further documentation, collectors speculate that he was responsible for producing the Running Fox varieties, possibly being subcontracted by the Morristown Mint. These coins get their nickname from a small animal resembling a running fox in the legend. This mark has also been referred to as both a dog and horse over the years by collectors. Today's collectors also speculate that the Camelhead New Jersey coppers were counterfeits struck at the Machen's Mills operation in Newburgh, New York. There are 3 Camelhead varieties, so named for the very round snout, more resembling a camel than a horse, and almost always come struck over another issue. The designs on the coins were provided by the Justices of the Supreme Court of New Jersey. The obverse has the legend, Nova Caesarea, the Latinized name for New Jersey used in its 1664 charter. The central device is a horse head, generally facing right, though there are 3 exceptions, placed above a plow, and the date is positioned at the bottom. These devices are found on the state seal of New Jersey. The coin's reverse has a design one would expect to be found on a federal coin, not a state copper. The central device is a shield, surrounded by the legend, E pluribus unum. This is the very first time our national motto was used on a circulating coin. Montraville Dickinson, John Hickox, and Sylvester Crosby all wrote early references about colonial and Confederation-era coinage, but it was Dr. Edward Maris who, in 1881, wrote a large folio book dedicated to New Jersey coppers. This book had a large photographic plate depicting all of the then-known die varieties of New Jersey coppers. A die variety is a specific obverse die combined with a specific reverse die. Keep in mind that a reverse die could be combined with one or many obverse dies, and vice versa. Maris labeled the dies by using numbers for the obverses and letters for the reverses. A number of new dies and new varieties have been discovered since 1881, all of which are extremely rare. There are presently just over 140 distinct varieties known, but generally speaking, an ambitious collection will consist of 80 varieties, and a very advanced collection will exceed 100. Approximately a dozen collections with over 100 varieties are known today. The distinct varieties have colorful nicknames like running fox, camel head, serpent head, and the bridal variety. Until recent years, the Maris book has been the primary reference for collectors. In 2013, Roger Suboni, Jack Howes, and Buell Ish wrote the new definitive reference on New Jersey coppers, capturing the learning of Maris and the past century. The Whitman Encyclopedia of Colonial and Early American Coins is also an excellent reference. The Colonial Coin Collectors Club, known as C4, is a group of collectors interested in colonial coinage. They have multiple yearly meetings in conjunction with large coin shows, have a lending library, and publish a quarterly newsletter. For more information about becoming a member, visit colonialcoins.org.